Right then, this is a quick walk around video, and this is for a Honda Civic 1.8 SE Plus Tourer Estate. Quite a mouthful there. Lovely car, this one. It's covered just 34,000 miles from new. Finished in this urban titanium, which looks fantastic on the car. And as you'd expect with such a low mileage, it's in fantastic condition. If at any point during this video my hands start to shake, it's because it is -8 today and I'm very cold, so I'm doing the best I can, and it's in the shade so I can see any marks, not to hide anything. It's quite the opposite. Glary sunshine is beautiful but hopeless for videos. Front of the car nice and clean, lights and lenses are clear and intact without any cracks or condensation. Bonnet very, very clean indeed. There might be the odd microscopic stone chip, but nothing that merits a mention. Near side, mirror smooth in the panels, can't see any obvious car park dinks or indentations. Near side front alloy in very good condition. Panel work is really, really nice. Near side rear alloy, again, beautiful. And come around the back. My favourite angle actually for these, I think this is one of the best looking estate cars out there. It's actually quite an interesting design as opposed to just boxy things that other manufacturers seem to give you. And come around the back, again, nice and clean. Offside, driver's side of the car, again, lovely and smooth in the panels. Again, no obvious marks or indentations that are going to jump out at you. Offside rear alloy, lovely. And the remaining panel work is very, very nice indeed, as is the final alloy. But it really is in absolutely super condition. Coming to the back of the car now, absolutely cavernous boot, which has been kept in simply beautiful condition. The video doesn't really do it justice. The carpeted areas are lovely. It's nice to see in this one, which you don't get it standard, is a space saver wheel as opposed to the inflation kit, so that's someone's obviously paid for that. Coming to the back of the car now, this is where Civics can let themselves down because it's basically where the kids sit, but this one's been kept very, very nicely indeed. Coming on the passenger side at the front now, again, all very, very clean and tidy. Finally coming on the driver's side, door card nice and clean, footwell areas likewise. And the driver's seat itself, I know it's done a low mileage, but it is an 8-year-old car, but it's in super condition. So we're inside the car now. Engine is running as always, so the dash can be seen illuminated. Lovely dash design, they really are. Hopefully you can see there. 34,533 miles and -8 degrees, so it really is cold. Pop the car into reverse. Look at that lovely clear gridded parking camera, all working exactly as it should. But it is very, very nice in here. And then up to this, I mean, that's the view you get as a driver. It is a sensational dashboard, it really is. And that's how you should set your driving position, by the way. So the steering wheel rim is slap bang between the top of the rev counter and the speedo there. I love these cars. Finally, just to show you, owner's manual pack and lock and wheel nut key, all here and present with the car. Right then, this is a quick road test video, and this is for a Honda Civic 1.8 SE Plus Tourer, or Estate car in any other language. The car's registered CU64XKN, and the car has a mileage of just 34,526 recorded. The reason we do all of our videos, especially actually this road test section, is to ensure that if anyone's online looking at any of our cars, they get to see the very car advertised actually in operation. Reason being is because, like numerous people, we've been to see cars which have looked absolutely fine in photographs or descriptions, only to get there and find out that it has an obvious fault which you'd much rather know about before setting off. We also do it on these very quiet country roads in this beautiful part of Gloucestershire, and this actually forms part of the road test route we take our customers on, and the hope is then it'll be representative of what you'd feel yourself should you be offered a test drive in the car. Firstly, an apology, it's a little bit later in the day, so if it is a little bit grainy and dark, I do apologise, but I really am trying to squeeze them in as and when I can, and I don't have much choice in that, so but hopefully it'll be okay. So coming to the car, starting with the engine, as you'd expect on any Honda car, regardless of mileage, engine starts instantly. and settles to a smooth, even idle. There are no warning lights on the dashboard at all relating to the engine or any other part of the car. Honda, as I pretty much always say, they build the best four-cylinder engines in the world, in my humble opinion, but also the opinion of many others. And it's to do with lots of things, actually. It's, you know, they are renowned, obviously, for their reliability and longevity. I mean, by a country mile, the most reliable engine in its class. They're cam chain driven, there's no cam belts to worry about on them, but they're also just a lovely engine to use. So sweet natured, such a sweet sound to the engine. It's just mechanical sophistication that Honda do absolutely brilliantly. The engine then feeds through into the auto gearbox, which, like the engine, has a reputation for being incredibly tough and reliable. All the gear shifts are smooth. The gear ratios are chosen specifically to extract the best out of the car in terms of, obviously, economy and performance. Notwithstanding reputation, however, you should always do the obvious checks on any automatic car, just to make sure that shifts on the move are smooth, and it ticks that box. But also, more importantly, when you're stationary and you select drive or reverse from cold or warm, doesn't make any difference, just make sure there isn't any great clunks or thunks as it engages, and in every respect this one's absolutely perfect. So coming to the steering and chassis of the car, I have a Civic 1.8 Tourer, funnily enough, at the moment, albeit mine's a manual car, in the same colour, bizarrely enough, as well, but there we are. So this is like a busman's holiday, but I love these cars, and the chassis is pretty much the reason why. The steering is brilliant. It's beautifully weighted, it's precise, it's really accurate, it's just joyful to use, because it's very confidence inspiring. You can be just tootling along like now and it's easy and light to use, but when you go through the corners it doesn't go vague or overly light, which I detest in cars. It also tracks dead straight. There's no vibrations at this speed or any speed up to the legal limit, but lovely, because along with the chassis, which this corner is a classic example, off camber, slightly bumpy, you just turn in, minimal movement. The chassis remains quite flat, but it's keen to change direction. It's got a really good front end on these cars. They love going through corners, and they're completely unflustered. That's what I love about them. They just devour corners relentlessly, but with real eagerness. It's a rare thing in family cars, estates or hatches, that actually they're pleasant to use, and these really are. But it also gives you a very compliant, comfortable ride. It's just such a beautifully judged chassis. It really, really is. And it exhibits absolutely no rattles or clunks. There's no noises that shouldn't be coming from underneath the car at all. So all in very, very fine order. I'm just going to get up to speed and give the brakes a bit of a shove. I know they're good because I've tried them already, but just as much as anything else, just for demonstration purposes. So I'm going to give them a nice good thump, or reasonably so. Lovely powerful brake pedal. It's got no pulsing or vibrations at all coming back through the pedal. It's all in very, very fine order. Finally coming inside the car's literally only just arrived, so it's not been cleaned, although it's very, very clean in here. They are beautifully put together cars. No squeaks, no rattles, and I know this is very much an opinion thing, I love the interiors. I just think this is a brilliant piece of design, because not only is it interesting to look at, but it's actually incredibly practical and brilliant ergonomically. The most conventional part of it actually is the centre stack, which, like most cars will have, as this has, radio and the air conditioning system. Unlike a lot of cars, all the switch gear that you press has that beautiful tactile quality that Honda give you. It's such depth to their engineering. But my favourite part is definitely what's in front of me now, this two-tier design. So the upper deck, you've got the information you're going to look at most regularly. Part of it's an information display panel there. So if I change the radio station or I change my fan speed, I've got a small display down here, but a much bigger one comes up there. So I can actually
keep my eyes on the road without having to look down to the bowels of the car. But the display everyone looks at most commonly is your speed. So as I'm driving along now, looking at the lorry coming the other way, seeing that car, looking at the junction coming up, I hardly have to take my eyes off the road at all to look at my speed. It is genius, absolute genius. Down below that, you've got more conventional dials. You've got rev counter flanked either side by the temperature and fuel gauges. Temperature's running at a third, which is exactly where it's meant to be on a Honda car, by the way. Then you've got this lovely thick rimmed leather bound steering wheel, feels absolutely great in hand and shows zero wear. It is a superb car. They are very sought after in terms, because you know, some people go away from Honda after a few years, try something else, chase a newer plate for the money, only to find out that, you know, beauty's skin deep in some cases. These are just wonderfully engineered cars, and this drives as if it's just rolled off the production line. It just drives absolutely like new, and I hate saying that because it's such a used car cliche, but it happens to be true.